Hey guys, well today's video is going to be about this idiot, Piers Morgan. He was a British news reporter, I believe, at some point, and apparently he became unethical and listened to a voicemail from a second or third party and sweared up and down that it was not unethical to his knowledge. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and link his video here, his testimony when he's trying to defend what he did. Um, but this guy is now in the United States. Okay, so his country practically kicked him out. He came over here. He got a job at the CNN, which I think it stands for the Communist News Network. All right, he gets a job over there. And when this gun debate came up, he was very quick to jump on the bandwagon because, well, first of all, it really increases his ratings because nobody wants to watch this idiot. So, but since everyone's interested in guns, they were watching him, and I really think that Alex Jones was the one who totally gave him the biggest ratings when he went on there screaming and ranting about 1776 will commence again. That episode was awesome for the Jones side of it. He was a little bit, Jones was going a little bit off the off the rocker, but totally, felt his passion. And this idiot kept saying the same phrase over and over again about, why does somebody need more than 100 rounds? Or, why would they need a gun that's capable of firing over 100 bullets a minute? Well, guess what, Pierce? What the hell kind of car you drive? I don't know, but I bet you your car can go over 100 miles an hour. And considering the United States, I think the top speed I've ever seen was 80 miles an hour. Then why do you need a car which can go over 100 miles an hour? Maybe because you wanted that car? Because it was your choice? Your freedom to choose? The most ironic thing about this character here, this idiot, this lemming, coming on here and trying to explain to us that we should give up our guns because Britain doesn't even really have police officers with guns, according to him at least, and that there's very, very low gun crime and homicides with guns. It's ironic because, when I was growing up, my mom said to me, when I used to give her a hard time about stuff, she'd always come to my room and she goes, when you grow up and you get your own house, then you can make the rules. But until then, you live under my roof and you do my rules. All right? Well, guess what, Pierce? We got our own freaking house, and we made up our own freaking rules, and it's called the Constitution. And our Second Amendment clearly states that the Second Amendment cannot be, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed, okay? Do you know what infringed means? It means not limited, all right? And yeah, sure, they didn't know about AR-15s, fully automatic assault rifles, AK-47s, both in semi-automatic and fully automatic, but they didn't say specific weapons of their time either. They left it very vague. Therefore, I believe that the stinking amendment is for like weapons, meaning we should share the same like weapons, whatever is common at the time in which that we're addressing the Second Amendment and looking at it. So, for you to come out and claim that we should just have pistols or double-barrel shotguns with Joe Foot-and-Mouth Biden is completely beyond me. All right. Now, if you don't like it, you can go back to Britain if you're even allowed to enter that country again. Because what I heard was that you were doing unethical bullshit and listening to messages of people from third parties. So probably if you try going back to Britain, nobody wants you here. Nobody wants you there. All right. There was even a White House petition to deport you. I signed it. I thought it was hilarious because you're over here, a British person, telling us what to do when we went out and we got our own country and we defended it. Okay. And a lot of people, wonder why the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment. And when I first heard, when I was reading about it, the Second Amendment was about the guns. I thought a little bit outside the box, but I thought, what happened probably was that they got done writing the First Amendment for freedom of speech, freedom of press, all that other stuff, and then they decided, how are we going to ensure that these first freedoms, this First Amendment, is enforced and making sure nobody can take that away from them. And they said, well, why don't we give them the right to bear arms? That's a great idea. But unfortunately, they were using a quill at the time, I think. So they didn't have an eraser on the quill. And so they're like, well, should I start over? And they're like, no, we'll make it the Second Amendment. All right. So they put the Second Amendment in there about the we're allowed to form a well-regulated militia, and the right to bear arms should not be infringed. as a Second Amendment as a fail-safe device, okay? In the event that a tyrannical government came along and tried to restrict our rights, tried to take away our liberties and freedoms, our God-given rights, we would be able to stand up and defend ourselves, right? Take the government back, give it back to the people, not these big businesses and all this other bull crap they have out there, all right? I keep hearing this phrase, too big to fail, right? They can't prosecute big bankers, okay? Well, you don't have to prosecute the bank. Why don't you prosecute like the CEO? Because isn't he like the boss of every boss under him? All the managers below him, he's in charge. So if he lets something happen on his watch, he should be held responsible. Or if there was a rogue person within the organization, then fire that guy. All right? The bank will move on. Even if you fire the CEO, you know what will happen? The board will elect a new one. All right? And there'll be a new CEO there that's probably already working in the same room. All right? So just fire anyone you need to, as warning shots, and that's all you have to do. And they will freaking stop doing this stuff and stop laundering money, giving bad loans out to people. And somebody else that really is just trying to stack it on it is that idiot Obama, that village idiot from Kenya, that's not even a legitimate citizen, is over here trying to give people who can't afford loans, who will most likely default on their loans, a fair shot at getting a loan. Well, most of those people are going to go ahead and default on their loans. And isn't this exactly where we were several years ago, when all of a sudden the mortgage industry fell through, and all of a sudden nobody could pay their loans, and all of a sudden they had to bail out the banks? This is exactly what happened. High-risk loans. People giving loans to people who could not possibly pay it back because their pay is not anywhere near the payment. So as soon as they lose their job, or even just keeping their job, they wouldn't be able to make the payment with all the other stuff going on. So what the hell, okay? So, we as the American citizens need to stand up against lemmings like this. We need to tell them to stop. We should probably kick them out of the country. When the whole system crumbles and we go into Lord of the Flies time and we hold trials for these idiots that caused this in the first place. I hope he's on the first boat with Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Feinstein and Bloomberg on the way out of here. Okay, they can go if they want to be in a place where it's totally controlled by the government. North Korea can totally take you right now, okay? They're more than willing to force you to do things under their laws with no freedoms, okay? So why don't you go over there? I will buy your plane tickets right now. If you leave the country and don't come back, I will buy your plane tickets. Go to North Korea if you want communism, dictatorships, okay? Go over there with little King Jong-un tattoo from the Fantasy Island. Go over there, hang out with him, all right? We don't need you here. We are the only country which bails out other people, all right? We bail out other countries all day long. And what's our unique ability? What do we have that nobody other country has? We have a constitution, a set rules of God-given rights in a document that protects. And the Second Amendment is the fail-safe to that amendment. If you try to take the First Amendment, we are allowed to rise up as the people and take it back. Take the government away. We got Barack Obama, a non-legitimate citizen, in the office right now, trying to discredit and turn this country into a dictatorship, a complete socialist dictatorship, okay? During his stupid freaking White House thing a while back, the correspondence dinner, what the hell, he even joked about it, saying, I'm not the striking young socialist I used to be. What the hell's with that? This doesn't make any freaking sense. This guy is not a citizen. He spent $2 to $4 million blocking his birth certificate. Let me tell you this, Piers. If I was asked for my birth certificate, I wouldn't spend one red cent trying to block it. I would go to my fire safe, I would pull that thing out, and I would go ahead and show it to you guys. Because I am not hiding anything. Obama says himself, people who don't disclose the truth have something to hide. Well, guess what? You have buried your college transcripts, the evidence that would show you how you were able to get into that college and pay for your bills. You have a fake birth certificate you Photoshop. I looked at it myself, and I do a lot of Photoshopping, and sure enough, it was layered. All right, there was like weird inconsistencies, like the date stamp on it. It actually looked like there was two separate stamps because they used to have one stamp, but then they discontinued the stamp that was used originally back there when he was in this country. So he used a different type of stamp and then took off some of the numbers off of it. So it was two different stamps basically to make it. This is insane. Our country is falling apart. We have an illegitimate president. We need to do something. Okay, so. Piers Morgan, you might want to get the hell out of this country, okay? Go back to Britain, beg for your job back, do all the unethical stuff you want over there, guaranteed. But the United States is tired. And I might not represent the entire United States, but I represent people like me that state that why the hell are we paying to freaking support and rebuild places in which attacked us in the first place? If you want to have a permanent freaking armed forces over there, like over in Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, all these crazy-ass places, if you want us to have a presence over there and help you keep those places, all right, well, then you should start paying taxes to us, all right? Pick up the freaking bill. Why am I going to work every day, and the government takes almost a third of my money every single week, and I'm just sitting here, and a third of that money, most of that money actually goes overseas to some idiot that hates us anyway. So I think we need to reform this whole thing, including immigration. And in my next video, I'm about to film right now, is about immigration, my ideas of budget cuts that could fix this community, this country, this nation, and get us back on track. All right? So stay tuned for the next video, coming out here in a few minutes. Piers Morgan's a complete idiot. Alex Jones totally served him in that freaking meeting, or that interview that he had. You know, although Alex Jones kind of went a little bit over the top, you know, he proved that we are not going to take any more of this bullcrap. And for a person from Britain, who, you know, we used to be controlled by, and we decided to get our own house, make our own rules, he comes over here, he tries to force stuff down our throat and says that, you know, tell me the British crimes, tell me the British gun-related deaths. Well, guess what? The Boston bombers showed us that you don't need a freaking gun to cause havoc and kill people. The Boston bombers were able to kill 3 individuals, and they didn't have an AR-15, they didn't have an assault rifle, they didn't have anything. They just went there with a pressure cooker, we're told. Although I don't even believe that story. But let's say we believe the story. Your government's telling you they went with pressure cookers, not AR-15s, not over 10-round mags. They went there with pots and pans and blew up 3 Americans and injured hundreds more. All right, and then they got a Saudi that they're deporting, which I think is really Shazad, which is a Times Square bomber. He's out of the country, but they need that other kid as like a front, like a double cover, to show them that we're gonna deport this kid. All right, but it wasn't the kid. It was Shazad from the Times Square bomber who did all this other bullcrap. And let's go watch some of my other videos. Go watch him, and it shows that he has direct connections and humongous coincidences with like close by locations of people that played a part in things like Sandy Hook and Aurora and such. All right, so I've watched the videos, and this FBI is corrupt as hell. The FBI swears up and down that we should not listen and watch any other videos, any other footage of any kind, and only the footage they show us. So they're basically not doing the United States policy of innocent until proven guilty. They're saying the jury should just consider these people, these 2 people, don't consider anybody else, even though all the other people dressed up like Kraft. These people had like lightly looking backpacks slouched on their one shoulder. The crock pot. The pressure cooker should have weighed a lot more with all those BBs and all those nails and all that other stuff that was in there. And these book bags seem too small. But the Kraft-looking people dressed up in the Kraft uniforms, appear to be wearing very bulky backpacks. And when there was a photo of them leaving and running away, the Kraft people that had earpieces were not wearing their backpacks. They left their backpacks there. They exploded. You know, because you're free, you know, to show us these stupid videos of the brothers walking around, but you say you got video footage of them placing the backpack. Well, where is it? Okay, where is it? This is freaking 9/11 all over again, where you have all these cameras of the Pentagon footage. I've seen the cameras that released after the fact. There's cameras all over the place, and they don't show us the cameras during the time of the impact, so I will assume it was a cruise missile. All right, that's it. Tune in for the next video where I will freaking rant and rave about new stuff, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys. Bye.